Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while and a lot has happened. It's almost been a year since my initial video about the relationship between Evan Rachel Wood and Marilyn Manson, and it has been an absolute roller coaster ever since. So much has happened, it's actually been so overwhelming and mind-blowing lately. I am trying my best to keep up with all the new information, but I just wanted to make a video to give you guys a concise update before diving deeper into any of the further allegations and the new statements that have been made. In this video, I want to address particularly Esmé Bianco and Evan Rachel Wood, as they are two women that featured predominantly in my previous videos, and they have finally come forward and named Marilyn Manson as their abuser. On February 1st, 2021, Evan Rachel Wood bravely named Marilyn Manson as her abuser. The name of my abuser is Brian Warner, also known to the world as Marilyn Manson. He started grooming me when I was a teenager and horrifically abused me for years. I was brainwashed and manipulated into submission. I am done living in fear of retaliation, slander, or blackmail. I am here to expose this dangerous man and call out the many industries that have enabled him before he ruins any more lives. I stand with the many victims who will no longer be silent. Honestly, when I seen that she had posted this on Instagram, I was in so much shock. I couldn't believe that she'd done it, but I was so proud of her for coming forward and naming him, because it must have taken some immeasurable amount of courage to do so. And many other victims also started to post statements and came forward in solidarity. I mean, there is power in numbers. We saw that with the Weinstein case. And some of these people are people who I mentioned in previous videos, and others are people who are fans or ex-partners of his. Honestly, there's been so many statements coming out and so many people posting their experiences and images and receipts and video clips and audio clips. It's quite overwhelming. So for now, I'm going to hold off on addressing all of those statements because I really need to go through everything, and there's a lot of information, and every day there is more and more stuff being posted, and I feel like it's still early days yet to fully address all of those statements and allegations, but I'm keeping up to date with everything. Don't you worry, I really am doing my best, but it's been overwhelming, honestly, because it's just insane how similar all the victim stories are. Senator Susan Rubio of the California State Senate issued an appeal to the Attorney General of the USA about the allegations, which were put forward by several victims who also named Warner as their abuser. Several other state senators wrote letters of appeal to the Attorney General to investigate crimes that were allegedly committed by Brian Warner across several states in America, including New York, Florida, and Massachusetts. After posting her incredibly brave statement online, Evan Rachel Wood went on to receive support from many people online, including people who actually knew Evan Rachel Wood and Manson personally throughout the years. And I wanted to include these statements from an ex-girlfriend, Rose McGowan, and longtime friend / ex-friend, Lainey Chantel, who was the ex-wife of Manson's band member Twiggy Ramirez.
Only sad today and disgusted, but I am mostly proud of Evan Rachel Wood and the others who've come forward against Marilyn Manson, my ex. When he was with me, he was not like that, but that has no bearing on whether he was like that with others before or after. It takes time to come forward. And again, I am proud of these women and anybody who stands against an abuser. They steal time. These are time eaters. They steal lives. They steal hopes, dreams, freedom, sexuality, love. And I'm also here to say to the Hollywood cult leaders that have employed him and sanctioned him, and Interscope Records and Sony was with him during the Evan period. You know you are accomplices. All the PR managers, agents, lawyers. The Hollywood cult must be stopped.
I came across a very interesting comment on this video that I just wanted to mention, where a guy called Jake mentions his personal story with Brian Warner, and Rose McGowan replies, "He told me when I was with him not to read his book. I was happy to not know about his sexual life. I didn't know that maybe it contained a lot of clues. He really changed temperament on me when I broke up with him. Said nasty things in the press about me for years. Even said in an interview with his buddy Billy Corgan in the Rolling Stone that I hadn't told him about Weinstein. Straight up lie. He knew it all. I feel so badly for those who have been hurt. My stomach is tight and sick feeling today. For those of you who don't know, Rose McGowan is one of the women who came forward about Harvey Weinstein, and she is an amazing advocate for domestic abuse survivors and for victims. She's an absolutely wonderful woman, and I would highly recommend listening to the recent episode of the Louis Theroux podcast that she's on. She speaks a lot in detail about the Harvey Weinstein allegations and the cult of Hollywood, and I think she's doing amazing things, and I think it's absolutely wonderful that she stood up for Evan during this time. This next post is from Lainey Chantal, who is the ex-wife of Twiggy Ramirez, who was a member of Marilyn Manson's band for many years. And she was around Evan and Manson for many years and witnessed a lot of this abuse in person. And she posted this on her Instagram story. "I've watched this for 8 years of my life. How many more of my friends does he have to hurt before he pays for the hurt he's caused already? Marilyn Manson is an abuser. I stand with my girls, Smashley Waters, Sour Girl, Evan, and more." Ever since the day she posted her initial statement online, Evan Rachel Wood has become incredibly vocal about sharing her side of the story and also supporting other victims in the process. One story I found particularly interesting is one where she mentions anti-Semitic abuse and comments that she received from Marilyn Manson on a regular basis. In this post, she says, "On December 19th, I had to file a police report after I was alerted to threats made by Leslie Lee Lane and Lindsay Usich, Brian's wife, for conspiring to release photos of me when I was underage after being given large amounts of alcohol and drugs, after Brian performed on Halloween in Las Vegas, to ruin my career and to shut me up. The conversation, which took place on a Discord channel, read as such. I was called a Jew in a derogatory manner. He would draw swastikas over my bedside table when he was mad at me. I heard the N-word over and over. Everyone around him was expected to laugh and to join in. If you did not, or God forbid, called him out, you were singled out and abused more. I have never been more scared in my life. My mother is Jewish and I was raised with a religion. Because she converted and wasn't Jewish descent, he would say things like, that's better because I wasn't blood Jewish. He started getting swastika tattoos after we started dating. He did not have these tattoos when we started dating." She then went on to share some images here of the alleged swastika-related tattoos, so I'll leave those for you guys to see now. And she also provided some information about the apparent meaning behind these tattoos, which I'll also leave on screen. So feel free to pause the video now if you want to read that information that she provided. On her Instagram, Evan went on to share the images that she alleges that Lindsay and Manson's camp were holding over her head all these years. You can clearly see here that she has a mustache drawn on her face in order to represent a very evil man in history. We all know who he is. I'm not going to say the name. She says, "Here is one of the photos that I'm wearing Brian's hat, which is being long a part of his stage show and photographed on many people in his camp. This is a part of the humiliation and blackmail." She then goes on to share another image and says, "I stayed in Brian's hotel room most of the night, as I was not old enough to enter the casino after the concert. Multiple people were drawing on my face and the faces of others." And in the same story, she shares a police report, and she also shares an image of Dita Von Teese, Marilyn Manson's ex-wife, wearing the same hat that she's wearing in these images. Days after Evan's statement, on the 11th of February 2021, Esmé Bianco also named Brian Warner as her abuser. She stated, "I am naming the person who abused me and human trafficked me. His name is Marilyn Manson, born Brian Hugh Warner. I am coming forward after years of living with the unthinkable trauma I endured at the hands of a serial predator, known to many as Marilyn Manson. I am speaking up now in my own way and sharing this story with others because he must be held accountable. No one should ever go through that. And as so many other survivors have experienced, it's important that we all understand that people can be abused and trafficked by intimate partners, boyfriends, and husbands. We must address the misconceptions around human trafficking because it can happen to anyone like it happened to me. Esme went on to do interviews with ABC News and also the New York Times, and I'm not going to include all of the clips here of the interview because I'll get copyright claimed, but I will leave a link below in the description to everything mentioned in this video, and you can check out the full video down below. But for now, I'm going to mention some things that she mentioned in her New York Times interview, and also information that I discovered on Instagram. So the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that Esmé Bianco was hired by Manson in 2009 to be a model for his video, I Want to Kill You Like They Do in the Movies, which is alleged to be Manson's revenge fantasy about Evan Rachel Wood. Their dynamic changed in 2009 after Manson sent Bianco a plane ticket from her home in London so that she could star in the music video for his song I Want to Kill You Like They Do in the Movies. He explained it would be shot on a flip phone camera for a home video feel and would involve Manson kidnapping Bianco in his home. I need to have a victim/lover, he wrote in the email. Bianco believed the job would be strictly professional. You are going to have to pretend like you're being manhandled by me. Sorry, Manson emailed her a few days after the shoot. Once she arrived, she says, the line between art and reality immediately blurred. Bianco, who was 26 at the time, says she spent the next 3 days in lingerie, barely sleeping or eating, with Manson serving up cocaine rather than food. She remembers him losing his temper and throwing the camera at a smoke alarm. Soon, she says, he became violent, tying her with cables to a prayer kneeler, lashing her with a whip, and using an electric sex toy called a violet wand on her wounds. The same kind of torture device Wood has said he used on her. Bianco was terrified, but tried to calm down by telling herself, it's just Manson being theatrical. We're going to make art.
Why didn't I just run? What was I doing? It's not until we truly understand, what psychological abuse and gaslighting does to somebody that you can fathom why I would have stayed.
Bianco says months of controlling and abusive behavior by Manson culminated in one terrifying night.
He thought I had put cockroaches in the walls to mess with him. And he took an axe and he started smashing holes in the walls, and then he started chasing me with the axe. And at that point, I thought he's gonna kill me.
And as you can see here, the Manson is Abusive Instagram page shared an image of the prayer kneeler that Esmé Bianco mentions in this interview. I would highly recommend that you check out the full interview below. It's very long and very detailed, and there's a lot of information that I just can't possibly include in here, or I will be talking for days. So feel free to check out the information and the links down below, because there is a lot of extra stuff that she shares that I think is very poignant. Before I end this video, I want to mention Marilyn Manson's statement that he posted on Instagram the day after Evan Rachel Wood shared her statement. And he said, obviously my art and my life have long been magnets for controversy, but these recent claims about me are horrible distortions of reality. My intimate relationships have always been entirely consensual with like-minded partners. Regardless of how and why others are now choosing to misrepresent the past, that is the truth. Manson's record label have since dropped him from their lineup, and they recently posted this statement on Instagram. I would like to take a moment before I end the video to thank you guys so much if you've made it this far. I really appreciate everybody who takes the time to watch my videos. I put a lot of effort into them, and they take a lot of time and energy, and it's very overwhelming and upsetting to read through a lot of this information, so I do my best to try and condense it and make it as concise as possible. In the future, I will probably try and make my videos a little bit shorter, because I know the information is a lot to take on, and hopefully by doing that it will make it more digestible for people. But in the meantime, feel free to check out the links down below. I will link and reference everything that I can in this video for you guys, and I will be constantly updating on my Twitter and Instagram if you want to follow me at @EllieJaden. And I don't monetize these videos because I don't really want to monetize them, to be honest, but also YouTube would probably give out to me if I did. So if you want to support my channel in any way, you could feel free to become a patron. I would really appreciate it. And I thank you guys so much for your time and effort and your comments. It means the world to me. And I will see you guys in my next video.